Welcome to the Long Bangers. I'm Matty.
Hello, I'm Colin.
And I'm John.
How are you both doing this evening? John, how are you? Start with you.
Not bad. Still struggling to get over this bug, whatever it is.
Aye, tell me about it. It's been shite. Colin, what
Mm-hmm.
about you? You in better health?
I'm all right. I feel a bit tired, but I think I said that last week. I think it's just the sad
Age.
disease thing. Uh,
Oh,
well,
and
age.
age. Yeah.
Well, possibly age. But nah, I've had a couple of Baileys this afternoon, so feeling all right.
Lovely.
It's
Aye,
Christmas, eh? Getting
aye.
the Baileys.
We were just watching Flash Gordon on ITV4 there before we went live. You ever watched Flash Gordon, Colin?
No,
John, you seen it?
I'm aware of it, like I can make cultural references towards it, but I couldn't honestly say that I've watched it start to finish. I know it's about like, is it a New York Jets quarterback goes away to like some sort of other dimension and saves the world?
Planet Mongo is where he goes.
Planet Mongo.
That's what it's called. He goes there. He gets offered it at one point by Ming the Merciless, who's the emperor there. Brian
Ming
Blessed's in
offers
it.
him Mongo.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Brian Blessed's in it. He's a wingman, as in literally a man with wings. He's probably makes the film, if I'm totally honest. Also, Peter Duncan from Blue Peter, he's in it, and Timothy Dalton from Off of James Bond is in it. So, well worth watching, I would say. Rob has said Gordon's alive. Absolutely, that's one of the big Brian Blessed quotes in it. It's shite, by the way. It is like when you watch it, it's like made in 1980. I think it would have cost about £5 in today's money to make,
Do you know,
apart from the cast.
talking about currency for like the 1980s, and I was watching Home Alone yesterday. Stuck it on the TV, introduced the oldest kid to it. And you know, at the start, when the pizza delivery guy for Little Nero's delivers
Aye,
$122.50 worth of pizza to the McAllisters the night before their duty fly to France, I thinking to myself, like, that's a lot of money on pizza. What would the equivalent of that be today?
well now
And
that'd get you
a
one
large one
large,
at Domino's.
aye, large Dominoes and maybe a side if you got the deal.
$350 with inflation.
Bloody
Like,
hell!
for
But
fucking,
It was
it
a
was
big,
about 12
they, they,
pizzas.
they
it
were
was a big
loaded
goose
away
though.
the McAllisters and Home Alone. They were fucking loaded, so
Aye.
they wouldn't miss it. Sorry, Colin, I cut over you there.
No, think so.
Oh, all right. Chris said, "Evening, fellas." Ronnie said, "Good to see you back, Matty." Thanks, Ronnie. Good to see you too. J Stars and Mulligan masterclass. Bowie looking good again, and Chaiwa adds that physical side we needed. Great day yesterday. Ronnie said, "Hi, bangers. Good result. We need to start playing well in both halves. Great to see Bowie finding a bit of form." By the way, how was it allowed to have such a clashy kit? So definitely, we need to speak about that. It was a fucking nightmare. Chris said, very happy with the performance yesterday, out with a spell in the second half. And Rob also said, good theme tune though, for Flash Gordon. Does have an epic soundtrack to it. Right, we'll come back to the comments in a wee bit. We'll get on with the matter in hand, which is Hibs 3-0 win over Falkirk. It was a pretty convincing win in the end, despite a bit of a rocky second half, no pun intended. A few changes to the team lineup, John. Obviously, they were a bit enforced. What did you think of the lineup?
You might have to remind me of it. There was three changes, and I think when I was talking to you guys about it yesterday, Hibs had said it was like four at the back. So I was saying, fucking yes, 4-4-2, football's healing. But it was slightly different. I think it was a three, no, a four. Oh God, I can't even remember now
Want
what
me
the
to read the team
formation
out
lined
to you?
up. Aye, go for it.
Right, Salinger was in goals, and then it was a back three of O'Hora, Bushiri, and Iredale. Barlaser sitting in front of them with Cadden
Hmm.
and McGrath as the wing backs, Mulligan and Chaiwa, and then Boyle and Bowie up front.
Oh yeah. I think, do you know, I think the thing that I found quite interesting about it was McGrath playing left wing back, and I wonder if he was maybe less wing backy and more left midfield because I didn't picture him as bombing up and down the left hand side. Like I don't think he's got the engine for that. I think he's definitely more of an attacking threat,
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder if the way that Hibs set up and actually the way that Iredale played yesterday, like he's managed to put the Falkirk team under pressure with some of his jinking runs forward, which isn't something that you would often credit him with.
Mm-hmm.
He's not had the opportunity to demonstrate that before. So I wonder, do you know, maybe we'll see Iredale and McGrath hurting teams down the left from now on.
As the new left-hand side. Colin, what did you make of the team?
Oh, I was trying to work it out when it came out, like obviously, and I was thinking it must be a 4 at the back, like just with Cadden and Iredale as fullbacks. And I thought McGrath might be playing on the left there, sort of front three or left mid. But I think, and that's what the Hibs Observer sort of put it out as before the game as well, didn't they? After I had worked it out myself, like, but then we were both wrong because I think they asked him, and they must have asked him in the press conference, and he confirmed that McGrath was at left wing back. So it's still pretty much the same players, though. You know what I mean? It's just they've just shuffled them around a wee bit. I think he was the only one that could go there.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was. I thought we might have seen Barlaser playing in the number 10 because when we signed him and he was asked what type of midfielder he was, he sort of presented himself as a bit more an attacking midfielder, and I thought that might be an opportunity to move him forward and have Chaiwa and Mulligan sitting a bit deeper, but it didn't pan out that way. He sort of sat in, and the other two did the running. What did you make of McGrath left wing back then, John?
He did all right. I mean, I was obviously being flippant before saying about Iredale and McGrath down the left. I think in games like that, or sorry, in situations where you have like a wee bit of I'm not going to say crisis, but some injuries that are starting to rack up a wee bit, when you have to shift players out of position, I think that's where players should get a wee bit more encouragement and maybe a wee bit more leeway, because it's no their preferred position. It's not, it's just a bit different. Like, it's like when midfielders, like say if you've lost a centre half, like it's always a midfielder that gets dropped back in. Like if you don't have anyone on the bench to do it, but you're kind of like I just want you to do simple things, do them well. So I thought McGrath did fine on the left, but I don't think we're going to see him there. I don't think we'd want to see him there too often. However, on the flip side of that, sorry, is Mulligan's performance, because he did a lot of the pulling the strings in midfield.
Mulligan was terrific. Colin, what was your take on the first half overall?
I thought they completely dominated it. I know. I think I read some of the stats at half time, like the percentage possession they had. It was close to 50-50. I can't remember what way it tipped, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like any possession they had must have been in their own half, because we were totally just driving forward at the end, and Mulligan at the heart of that. His first half was excellent, wasn't he? Just picking the ball up and running at them, and obviously just getting hacked almost every time he ran past somebody. But he's so strong, eh? Like that's obviously we need to get him in those positions, or not the positions, but the style of play to suit that, because he just. I don't think we've seen it, right? But we've not seen it as much. We probably saw more in the first half than have the rest of the season combined, him picking the bottom, driving like that. And teams don't like it. So it doesn't suit. It takes players out of position. And it doesn't fit all the tactics in that they've probably had pre-planned, because they haven't. Is that my man? Is that your man? And having to communicate and all that kind of stuff, rather than stay in their own wee box that they're in. But it was just. I think it was 3 guys that got booked.
Three yellow cards he was directly responsible for, which was brilliant.
But as well as that, I mean, he played the pass he played for the penalty shout, or the penalty that we got. That was a great ball through, so it was a bit of quality on the ball as well. It wasn't just picking it up and driving it, it was, and he won it back, I think, when Bowie's goal as well, didn't he? He won it back, and so I mean, he was outstanding in the first half. That's the best I've seen him.
John, there was a bit of chat. I went on the radio after the game, and the chat there, they were talking about Mulligan as being potentially able to make it to the World Cup performances.
Said that before the game. Sorry, but they said it before the game as well. Cragen said it before the game. I heard it when I was in the car. So he did. So it wasn't just like reactive to how he played.
But performances that will not hurt him, John, will they?
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not intimately familiar with every single Scotland midfielder that could potentially go to the World Cup.
See, when you say intimately familiar, that kind of throws up some connotations. How familiar would you think we're expecting you to be with?
Which ones are you?
Football players?
Who
are you intimately familiar with?
as a Hibs and football podcaster, I would expect you to expect me to be very familiar with all these players. No, no, it's not going to hurt his chances. Is the short answer. I think there's going to be a number of players that are all going to be stepping up and thinking that they've got an opportunity to go. And I think obviously not everyone is going to be able to go, but it should only work out well for the teams that they're playing for. And for us, like we've got two players that are on the fringes of the squad, and I mean that on the basis that they've both had call-ups recently, Bowie and Mulligan. So if they are looking to put themselves on the plane to the USA next year, it can only be a good thing for us.
Colin, there's been a bit of talk about the midfield. In fact, I think we asked the question the other week was whether or not the midfield was better this season than last season. But I think this was the first time, certainly that I can remember off the top of my head, where we've had McGrath, Chaiwa, and Barlaser playing together as the middle three. What did you make of that trio?
It was Mulligan, wasn't it?
What did I say?
McGrath.
McGrath, I meant Mulligan. Yeah, sorry.
I liked it because we've not seen enough of Chaiwa. Like we've seen flashes and he's scored a couple of goals and he's looked good in flashes. But I'd like to. I was saying that I think on the preview on Friday. I'd like to see him and Mulligan getting a run together in there, whether it's with Barlaser or McGrath when he comes back into the middle. I think those two could be quite. I think they could be a really good partnership together, just with their power and their, and then talk about needing a big number six. It's got to come in half somebody in that. I don't know if you need that if you've got two guys that are doing the work and have the effort that they're putting in.
How was it Matty described it the other week? Because I think I went with hard man, but that wasn't what Matty said. Was it hard tackling or?
I can't remember. I called him an enforcer or something.
That was it, enforcer. Midfield enforcer.
The exact phrase I used. We've got a question, and I'm just trying to find it right. So we started with Boyle and Bowie up front. Obviously, Clegy missed out through injury again, but there is a bit of chat that it's Keith O'Flaherty has asked the question: what does everybody make of the Clegy rumours that he might be away in January due to lack of game time? So he injured himself in the international break. Had an ankle knock. I think we've had one game where he featured after that. He said he was still experiencing some pain. According to David Gray, he didn't quite make the game on Saturday. Is it folk putting two together and making five, Colin, or is it one of these no smoke without fire situations that Clegy might be looking to get away?
I think it's the first one. I think it's people just making stuff up. I'm sure he'll be disappointed he's not played as many minutes, but if you're injured as well. You know what I mean? He would have probably got his chance last weekend if he had been fit. And that's just bad luck. I think we had this with Manny in January. He's still not played a minute right enough since then.
He's still injured though, isn't he? Like he's on his way back from injury.
So I think it's just the usual. Like he's coming up to January. This is when folks start pretending they're in the know and that.
Fair enough. John, there was a photo, I think it was deleted, taken down, but Martin Boyle posted on his Instagram a picture of himself and Bowie with the caption #FreeClegy. As well as there was a bit of a sort of a Twitter campaign to get Clegy in the starting lineup. Is this a case of the current custodians of the jerseys taking shots at the fans, or do you think it's more a case of a wee in-joke that they're all in on?
It's a good question. I hadn't seen the picture. I wasn't aware of any sort of shenanigans like that going on. I'd like to think that it's a bit of playful, but I don't know, like I wonder if it's maybe like a sort of two-pronged thing. Could it be a wee bit friendly banter towards Cliche in-house, and could it also be a wee bit of a Philippe Murray typewriter moment, like having a wee crack at the fans? Because I think Free Cliche had been going on for a wee while there, and I think it maybe happened before the Livingston game that he scored in, but then he never really performed as well as we would have liked after that, and obviously subsequently he's been injured. So I think the funny thing about Martin Boyle, like we talked about it on the podcast, that like we talked about big game moments, we talked about and doing the routine as well. So he never done the routine against Motherwell, but in the last two games he scored a couple, or so the last 2-3 games, he scored a couple of penalties. So he's not done his chances any harm of staying in the squad. And actually, it doesn't harm us if Cliché's injured, if Martin Boyle's starting to find a bit of form again.
Was
And I
free
guess it's just part of like the sort of the moving pieces of a football team, I imagine.
was free Clichy a thing like online? Was it? Was
I
that?
have to say I hadn't seen it
I
until
didn't know that either.
folk were talking about the Instagram post earlier. I have to say, right, I think folk read far too much into Instagram posts and overreact. I'm kind of like Ellie Yuan always gets a hard time about his Instagram posts, and I was like, who cares? Who's got time to be bothered about all this kind of thing?
Aye.
So
You know what though? See that right? So I didn't know about the free Clichy thing
Mhm.
being a thing.
I love, Colin, that you are distancing yourself from being the administrator of the Hibs Central account.
Was it him that done it?
I'm not even online.
I say him or her, but no, I didn't know that was a thing, right? So I only read about this morning. I've not seen the post. I just read it somewhere, somebody talking about it. So I knew he had said that, and I just thought, see if that is an in joke though. It's a shite one.
It really. I think that's why it was deleted, though, is because it's really easily misinterpreted. And I think the Cliche rumours, obviously Hibs Central tweeted that earlier on, and what tends to happen is Hibs Central takes stuff off of Hibsnet, post it on Twitter, and then folks see it for there and then go, Hibs Central said it, and then it ends up back on Hibsnet, but then reinforcing the rumour that started there in the first place. And I don't know, so obviously we didn't have any inside information on what's happening with Cliche, so my gut feeling is that there's not an issue there. I don't think there is. I think that we will see him back in the team once he's fit. I think we'll see him playing and try to sort of forge a career at Hibs. I don't think there was anything in the Instagram post. I think it was just like a sort of badly thought out in joke. But I suppose we'll see in the fullness of time. But just I would always say the Hibs Central, like you just try to work out. They don't know. They just repeat what they've seen somewhere else. It's not inside knowledge that they've got. Folk need to understand that, I think, before they can attribute more weight than is necessary to those type of tweets. Anyway, Colin, we got a penalty first half, right? That's how the deadlock was broken.
Yeah.
Penalty for you?
Yeah, looks so well to me, like, and the referee was quick giving it as well. It wasn't like one he was thinking about. You know, sometimes they go that, oh, give myself a wee second because that's what the TV pundits have asked me to do, that kind of thinking. He was straight out. So, look, and I've seen it back, it's penalty. Like, if you didn't get a penalty for that, what are you getting a penalty for?
And he was well positioned, the referee, wasn't he? It wasn't like he was miles away and having to guess at it or anything. He had a really good look at it. He gives it. VAR obviously checks it because they check every penalty.
No, the commentators have worked that out, though.
No, they still sound fucking surprised. Oh, they're checking
there's
this.
a check on this. Aye, yep, that's right. Mm-hmm.
That's it, the check on him. John, what do you think of the penalty? That any question marks over it?
No. I don't know. I don't understand how it's got the. I don't understand how it's got the airtime that it has subsequently.
One reason. If Amy McDonald's husband hadn't mentioned it on Sportscene, nobody would have been even talking about
it. His comments were outrageous about it. I was watching it last night. My old man had texted me and said, kind of basically having a bit of complaint about the BBC how they tackle Hibs and incidents involving Hibs. And I thought, well, I've not seen it yet. I'll watch it and then kind of report back. And I watch it. And Richard Foster said, I think
is that, sorry? Who's he?
Mr. Amy McDonald.
Oh.
I beg your pardon. Yeah. Has said there's nothing in it, but and I can't tell if there's contact, and it's Boyle that's instigated it. And then he's chucked in the line, and this is the bit that really fucked me off. If there's no contact, then Boyle's going down anyway. I fucking do. Like,
so there was contact.
Aye. So you've got that right. So he's contradicting himself, but also that assertion that he's just what Boyle's just a cheat. Then is he? That's it. He's just gone out with I'm going to ignore the facts here, and even though it was a fucking clear penalty, I'm going to accuse Martin Boyle of diving, even though he did the dive, and I'm acknowledging he's no dived. I'm still going to say he's a diver, and it shouldn't have been a penalty. I was livid about that.
Is he back now?
I don't know.
Is that how he's back in the telly? Because like he normally only gets on the telly when he gets sacked somewhere. Same as Kettlewell and that.
John, do we need to hope that Amy McDonald sticks another album out and he's not needing to go back on the telly again?
Funny you say that because I was having a look at her back catalogue earlier, and she's got a perfect song title to describe Mr. Amy McDonald. It's called Poison Prince.
Oh, I thought he was going to kill my husband's a fucking idiot.
I'm honestly like I'm reluctant to give him any more airtime than he deserves. And I can only assume that he has come out with inflammatory comments about Martin Boyle because he's never said anything insightful in his puff.
I think it's important we talk about it though, because we played Rangers on like a week tomorrow, isn't it? It's a Monday night game.
Yeah.
With that Ibrox, right? Rangers are in a period just now where referees are fucking outright refusing to give penalties against them anyway, or big decisions by the look of it.
That was a shocker, the keeper last night. I've only seen that back today.
There's another like off the ball incident as well, where Kilmarnock had a decent shout for a penalty. The boy gets sort of pulled down. This is on top of the handball at Dundee United last week, which I actually think probably wasn't a penalty, and then the handball against Livingston, which probably was a penalty, but neither of them are given. But to feed the narrative that Boyle was at it and Hibs didn't really deserve the penalty, it means if Boyle gets challenged, it's out in the public, innit? The referee's going to question it, and they already give Rangers the benefit of the doubt in games against us. Like that's their default position.
In games, they give Rangers in games, like it's against everybody. Like they get the benefit of the doubt. So now there's that built up. But mind they done it years ago with Gary O'Connor. Mind they did dive once.
Well, Porteous got it.
Aye. It's just.
So I was going to question that. Like I know that Martin Boyle has in the past had a reputation as taking a dive, and we've acknowledged it. Like when he's gone down, when there's been no contact. He still gets a bit of stick for the Livingston Twitter admin for going down under challenges or whatever. But I think one of the big differences now compared to when he previously had that reputation is the introduction of VAR.
Mm-hmm.
So if he and like you say, Colin, like the whole idea that VAR's going to have a look at this thing because maybe there's a bit of doubt. No, they review everything. So if in that situation Martin Boyle had been found to have gone down and there had been no contact, then the decision would have been reversed.
Yep.
So I didn't get this idea that I didn't understand the purpose of planting the seed that Martin Boyle takes a dive. Like nothing's really changed.
Thompson didn't challenge it either. Stevie Thompson didn't challenge it. They just moved on.
What I found quite interesting about Boyle's penalty was he has had his there's definite contact, like it's taken, I think it's his left leg that the defender catches and Boyle goes down. But Boyle's not, flinging his arms up. He's not flung himself to the ground. He's not even asking for the penalty. Like the referee has immediately awarded it. And in the game that they covered next on Sportscene, it was Motherwell against Livingston. Motherwell get a penalty. Similar-ish circumstances, in as much as the Motherwell player doesn't look for the penalty, doesn't throw his arms up, isn't he remonstrating with the referee? And there was nothing said about it. It was like, well, it's Motherwell. Sorry, I'm saying this because it's Motherwell. I don't understand the difference between the two events because, well, they're not carbon copies of each other. Neither player is demanding the penalty. Neither player's looking for the penalty. So what is Amy McDonald's husband's axe to grind?
I don't think it was that even different though to the Motherwell guy against us when Hanley was sent off, and if anything, it was a more blatant foul. So, I don't know. It's a weird. I thought it was a weird one. The question should have been, why is it not a red card?
Aye.
Rather than
because there's no attempt to
why
play the ball.
Why he went down under contact, which is actually what they debated, rather than go, that's a red card.
Mind Richard Foster had a fight with his own teammate. That was Danny Swanson.
Yeah. I worked beside his cousin.
Yeah.
Interesting fact.
Anyway, right. So, I've got a question here. So, Dan said Mr. Amy McDonald is a James Blunt case closed. Ronnie said, is Foster not a coach at Motherwell? I don't know if he's still a coach at Motherwell. I was just trying to have a
no, he's in Irish. He's in the Irish league. I just googled that while you were talking.
And that'll be a wee look there.
And their league will be finished because they play summer, eh? So that'll be how BBC can call him back up off the subs bench.
Why he was here. Jason Ladd just mentions his Rangers are getting every call. And Jay starts with dreading Rangers next week. They'll get all the decisions. We'll get nothing and end up getting beat. And Kieran said the offside for Kelly last night was unbelievable. 10 yards inside his own half. This was another example of the pundits not understanding VAR as well, by the way, because the linesman gets offside. Boys Bell inside his own half. A fucking ridiculous decision. But because he doesn't score, it goes out for a corner, which isn't an incident that VAR can get involved in at all. So they're not allowed to get involved at all in that incident. And Rangers end up with a free kick, and they're moaning, the pundits moaning about VAR for it. Nothing to do with VAR. Anyway, right, so Boyle tucks the penalty, no bother. John, did you have any doubts that he was going to score? Tell the truth.
No. However, I was a wee bit concerned that he went down the middle after giving Schmeichel the eyes. Like, I don't know if he'd reverted. I don't know if that maybe, like going for the double bluff with Scott Bain. Like, had Scott Bain seen him the week before and thought, right, he's going to pick a direction, so I'm going to go for one of the sides. Mm-hmm. But other than that, like, no complaints. I mean, in that moment, you would expect a professional footballer, Martin Boyle, for example, to look at what Scott Bain's doing, seeing if there's like a shift in his body weight, for example. So I'm questioning, like, I'm putting it down the middle. Like, there's multiple other things from Martin Boyle's vantage point that are different from mine.
I think if you're going hard down the middle, that's pretty safe. Like, because a goalie's always going to dive. In a shootout that makes it still, I say always. Schmeichel obviously tried to do the double bluff last week and look stupid for doing it. Although I just think if he couldn't be arse diving, because I've seen him in action today.
He seems to have just given up on diving for stuff.
Speaking about looking stupid, how has he been beaten by a bloody header for like 16 yards out?
He's too slow. He's
Colin, you could have saved that.
I could have.
I think you might be a better keeper than Schmeichel.
Nowadays, now he's about the same age as me.
Chris said, by the way, there wasn't much difference between the penalty Boyle got yesterday and the penalty we should have got against Celtic last week. I can't mind that yet, to be fair.
Was that the one at the opening chance that Hibs had where there was like a suggestion of contact?
Oh, aye, yeah, when Boyle should have scored.
Oh, then.
I remember it, and it's probably a good point, Chris. A good observation.
But he didn't properly go down then. Maybe that's why he properly went down this week.
Maybe. Colin Bowie gets the second goal. Talk us through that.
We were farting about with the ball a bit, and on the right hand side, I think, and then they won the ball back, and then Mulligan burst into action and won it back for us. And did he play the ball into Bowie, and then he took the turn and bent it into the far corner? Or I missed a pass out. It was a really good finish. Because it's just like, I don't think anybody expected him to shoot. I think that's what caught the keeper. Well, his body shape was saying I'm going to shoot, but maybe like an extra touch then shoot. Mm-hmm. But I think the early shot caught the keeper. Really good finish.
John, I don't know if you saw all the Sportscene last night, but Kevin Nisbet was getting some credit for the quality of his finish for Aberdeen's third goal, but I would have said Bowie's finish was at least as good, if not better, yesterday. Do you have a view on that?
Ironically, I would have preferred another view in Nisbet's finish because I got the impression that he maybe hit it with the outside his foot. Mm-hmm. But I never got to see the other angle to look at that. I don't know if I'd say that one is better than the other. Like, they're both really good finishes, and I think I didn't realise you were going to ask me about Kevin Nisbet's finish. But I think he scored last week, and I'm reminded of there was a.
It was really just an opportunity for us to get one up on Kevin Nisbet to say,
you fucking blew it.
That was it. That was all. The question was just set up really just to kind of stick up Nisbet a wee bit and say Bowie's goal was better. That was all.
I've said this before, that I'm a Hibs fan first and a football fan second, so I can appreciate a good finish even if it's scored by someone else.
Are you fuck? You care nothing about anybody else apart from Hibs.
I do when I watch it on Sportscene, which I rarely do. So I think the thing that I liked about both goals, but Bowie's in particular, because you were asking me about it, is the sort of the creativity, the impulsivity of it. Because I think the way that the play was moving was that the easier option, I think, and probably the data-driven one, just so I can get my wee dig about data in there, would have been to lay the ball into Cadden to get the ball into the box. Mm-hmm. But the way that the Bowie's received the pass, and everything is shifted ever so slightly. And I think expecting the ball to go to Cadden, and he just went pop into the far corner. And it was a beautiful finish.
And 2-0 was the least we deserved at that point, Colin. I mean, we were well on top.
Oh, well on top. Aye, well on top. I thought. So it gave us a wee bit of. No, we went 2-0 up at Falkirk earlier in the season as well, but it gave me a bit of comfort at that time, thinking, well, that takes us out of the reach, because I didn't think they were coming back into the game. Like, I just thought that was them done.
Did you take any more comfort for it, Colin, from it? The goal having come, I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes after Boyle had opened the scoring. Like, by kind of like keeping the pressure on.
Aye, I do like that, like, because then it kind of demoralises the opposition as well, doesn't it? You know, like, if you lose one at the start of the half and then the end of the half, they still maybe think they're. Well, I say they still maybe think they're in the game. John McGlynn fucking thought they were in the game. His comments after it, like, you got pumped. You got pumped, mate. Like, where were you getting your should have won for? Look at it, because they had one less shot on target than us. That's why they thought. But any other, and had more possession. But that's one of them. It's like, have the ball. You've got to fuck all away. That's what teams have done to us for fucking 2 or 3 seasons straight.
But is it actually? I was curious about that as well, because when we were talking last week, like, we talked about Hibs setting up attacks from the back and whether it was effective and whether we should be doing it, and could we remember the last time we scored a goal for that position. And I think one of the points that I tried to make was that I think that we're a counter-attacking team, but there is going to be situations where teams just didn't really give it that opportunity to try and counter-attack them. And did Falkirk play into our hands yesterday, do you think? Like, were we able to counter-attack? Because, and the reason I'm kind of curious about this, because like some of the goals that the 2 goals that we've described so far, and some of the play that we've described so far, is that Hibs pressing Falkirk higher up the pitch. And I don't know how that fits into this idea that I have of Hibs being a counter-attacking team, and what differences there were yesterday.
Well, we definitely won the ball back in Falkirk's half for both the goals. And McGlynn, after it, was talking about essentially Falkirk being architects of their own downfall, giving the ball away too easily. But I think Hibs forced the errors from Falkirk. I thought he was maybe being a bit unkind to us with his description of the goals. I think we did press high, not consistently, but we did press high, and we got a bit of joy from it. Falkirk couldn't get out of their half. Like in the first 45 minutes, it was played almost entirely in Falkirk's half. I mean, they had one shot that Salinger saved, or maybe 2, because there was one that the rebound kind of boy knocked it wide. I think it was maybe Brian Graham.
Brian Graham was like a back flick on it or something.
He flicked one up as well. So, but they never really looked like troubling us at all in the first half. I mean, it's a different story in the second half, and that's maybe where McGlynn's comments are coming from, Colin. So, John, second half, we would probably expected more of the same for Hibs and for us to kind of keep pushing, but Falkirk made a couple of changes at half time, and Hibs struggled to adjust. Would you say?
A wee bit, aye. I knew. I think it wasn't quite a game with 2 halves, especially because we got the third and we closed out the game. But there is, I think this season there's that wee bit of concern when the opposition has a bit of pressure, whether we're going to succumb to it or not. Because, and maybe that's reflective of some of the games earlier in the season where we've conceded, like at the end of the first half, opening the second, or conceding later, whatever, especially in the European games. But I try and be relaxed about it because you just want the players to do their job. Like me shouting for the sidelines, like, fuck's sake, pick up your man, blah blah blah, or slamming seats or whatever. Like, I don't think it's
performance art, just performative art.
Aye,
it's good fun though, isn't it? Like, I'm in a good old age. I think.
Do you know, sitting beside? I wasn't sitting beside him yesterday. I was doing my parental duties. But Leon Ramstein's good for a bit of performance art. Like, if he just comes out with like an indistinct noise sometimes at the referee if he gives something against Hibs.
Brilliant. I was going to say we absorbed the pressure, but Salinger pulled out a really good save second half. With the boys taking a shot and he's tipped it over. I thought that was they never showed it in the highlights last night. I'm really disappointed because at the game I thought it looked like a real top save that they probably deserved to be shown again. And then Falkirk thought they had scored to make it 2-1. And then he was actually kind of well offside, but McGlynn said they checked it on their monitor and they looked pretty much in line. I have to say, from my seat, I couldn't tell if he was on or off. My dad thought he was on, Josh thought he was off. I couldn't tell one with the other.
You're at the other end, aren't you?
Aye,
Aye. I spoke to a couple of folk at different places in the ground actually, and they were like, it was off for the, as soon as they could tell right away, but the fucking linesman couldn't.
No. But I think it was one of these ones where you've got players step. You know when the defenders are stepping out and the attacker's running through, and sometimes that gap looks like it's massive very, very quickly. So you go, he's fucking miles off. But actually, when the ball was played,
yeah,
there isn't really that difference. And I thought it was one of those that he ran through and goal. It's like a finish and everything from. It would have been interesting how the game would have panned out if that had stood. Like if it had gone 2-1, I think there's maybe still about 20 minutes left at that point. And the crowd were getting angsty because Hibs were struggling to get the foot on the ball and make anything happen. It was, I wouldn't say like all Falkirk, but Falkirk were definitely sort of had the momentum in the game at that point.
It does annoy me how the benefit of the doubt always goes the opposite way for us, though. Like I've said it before a couple of times now. Like depending on where you were sitting on the ground, but at a similar place to where the linesman was or similar angle, it was like clearly offside, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the flag stays down. You know what I mean? And it's how's it? Like if it's so obvious to people that it's offside, but you're not even thinking that pretty much looks offside, and you leave the flag down, and then all that fucking perception and myth comes in about, they leave the flag down for other decisions. No, they fucking didn't, because we've had it the other way as well, where they chop a goal off that needs to be reinstated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fucking frustrating, like how that I don't know how it happens. I'm sure other teams would say the same. St Mirren would probably say the same, but the ones that they got were obviously correct. So, but it does feel like we don't get the benefit of the doubt, and we're relying on VAR to sort half this shit out for us now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I suppose another good example of the on-field officials taking the decision was the penalty, because had the referee not given that, I don't think it's a clear and obvious error that VAR would have gone back and told them to go take a look at. I think they would have went, Nah, I think it's one of these ones where it's when you look at it, you go, well, obviously it's a fucking penalty, but depends what the referee's seen. See if he goes, it's just like a coming together or whatever, then they probably go, fair enough, referee's decision stands, and they didn't go back to it. So you need the referee to make a decision. That's why it's important that they do it. And the linesman given the goal and the referee given the goal. Luckily, we did have VAR to fix it. John, we made the triple substitution. It was about 75 minutes. I can't remember the exact 77. So close enough. Late, it was late because considering we normally see the subs around about the hour time. Newell came on, Ewan came on, and Josh Campbell came on. Josh Campbell in particular a really big impact, but Ewan played his part in the third goal as well. Talk us through the third goal, John.
Did you say Ewan played his part in the third goal?
Should he won a? Oh, in fact, he didn't. I'm thinking of the incident just before he wins a header for Mulligan to take a shot. Mulligan has a shot over the bar. But it won it back. I'm getting my incidents muddled up.
No, it's all right. I think it was maybe one of Chris Cadden's final acts in the game. He's dinked a wee ball over the top for Josh Campbell, the flying right winger. And I think I've talked about aesthetics of goals before. I think it was Cliche when he scored at Easter Road, when he just, was it Easter Road when he slammed into the roof of the net?
Livingston, aye.
Was it Livingston, aye? And I think the wee aesthetic bit that I found pleasing about Bowie's goal yesterday was Josh Campbell down the right hand side, and just to look over to see where Bowie is. And I think also from the opposite angle you can see Bowie checking his run and making sure not to get ahead of him so that he stays on side, but also kind of gets his body in front of the Livy player, the Falkirk player, sorry. And it was a good finish. It was a good ball. It was a good finish. Like it was a really good attacking move, and it was probably more of that.
Simple goals are good ones sometimes, Like just a.
Just got the ball forward quickly, like no fucking about. But I think that's probably reflective of the opportunity that the players saw in front of them, that they were able to take advantage of that.
Yeah. Look, Chris said the second goal for Bowie is much better than the first for him. I want my striker in the box, and Kieran said 100%. They're the goals I want Bowie scoring. David Gray mentioned it as well, saying that he wanted to see Bowie between the goals more often. Colin, I think with with the Hearts player scoring the day, not bowed out, he's like joint third top scorer, but for a little while this weekend he was second top scorer in the league. That's going to give him a bit of a confidence boost as well, isn't it?
I hope so. I mean, we just need him to be consistent on a consistent run. I think, like, I'm not meaning score every week, but I think his goals have probably come in batches. There's been a big gap, so it'd be good for him to get like a consistent, 1 and 2 rather than sort of 5 and 5 and then fuck all and 5.
Aye.
So, aye.
Well, we're talking about the linesman not getting offside right. As it was mentioned earlier on, the kit clash. Or as somebody else said, the kit blending, because they didn't really clash, they were too similar. I struggled with it all game. Like there was at least one time where I was either saying good pass when it was a shite pass and we're giving the ball away, or going, what the fuck are you doing? Only for it to be a good pass because it's found the Hibs player. Did you? Was it just me? Like, I know other people struggle with it because I've seen it on social media. Did you find it easy to tell the teams apart?
I think you could even see, like if when you watch it back on the Sportscene, that it looks like you can see how, because it's the same colour shorts and the
White sleeves.
Aye, so I can't believe that that's the referee's job. That's not like Hibs could have maybe said something. By the way, we're going to have to wear our away kit here. See, when we were at Falkirk, we wore our away kit.
Aye,
we wore the yellow that night. So I don't know why it was what the difference was.
John, had Falkirk arrived at Easter Road unprepared to wear a change kit? Should Hibs have taken the initiative and just wore a change kit, or do we go fuck it? We're at home. We'll wear what we want.
Get yourself back in that fucking bus.
Aye, get yourself back along the road. It's no far.
Well, if they had, it would have been the same outcome, a 3-0 defeat. If they'd forfeited the game.
True.
I think the home team should always play in the home kit, and the away team should always play in the away kit, unless. Oh, sorry. Let me restate that. If there's the potential for a colour clash, then absolutely the away team should wear their away kit. I wonder if yesterday the officials have went, well, Hibs playing green and white, and Falkirk playing blue and white, so it's fine. But actually, they both play in dark colours in different shades.
Right, I think that'll probably wrap us up on the game. I'm going to go back to some comments and we'll go through them. We've got some Twitter comments as well to see the last sort of 10-15 minutes of the episode. So we have another Gordon's Alive for John McGlynn. Fair if you've joined us late, but we're talking about Flash Gordon, obviously, at the
John
start
McGlynn,
of the episode.
Falkirk manager?
Nah, John McGlynn, Longbanger.
Just came on to talk about how many shots on target they had.
Aye. By the way, that thing with stats, right, and McGlynn's right. So see, if all you saw was the stats and you went, is that a 3-0 game? You probably would go, nah, it's not a 3-0 game.
The XG was similar to that though.
Was it?
Yeah, chances created. Sorry, I should call it.
I've not seen the XG. I was looking at it, like I think there's one difference in the shots on goal and the possession stats and that. But you need to remember, Falkirk had to play when they were 2-0 down, and Hibs didn't need to play. Like, it's easy to start playing when you're 2-0 down and you didn't have to worry about defending because you're already fucking beat. Like, these things matter. I think when the manager comes out and they go, can the stats make it look like it wasn't a 3-0? Well, fuck, it was a 3-0, and it was a 3-0 because you
know what the XG was, just for those interested in chances created numbers? It was 2.0 versus 0.8.
Well, there you go.
See, on the point about Falkirk and chasing the game and how it changes things. Like, I think Gray got a wee bit stick for not making changes sooner, but how soon do you think managers and coaches should react to what their opposite number is doing before they do something?
I don't think there's a cast iron answer to that, John. I think it depends on your team and how much trust you've got in them. So I think what you're looking at is did David Gray trust the players to ride out that 20 minutes that Falkirk had the bulk of the play in the second half? Like, was he comfortable? And obviously he was. But then we nearly conceded twice. So the two big chances that Falkirk had was the goal that was chopped off and the one that Salinger saved. If either of those go in, it's a totally different game at that point, because we've already seen it where at Falkirk earlier in the season we were cruising 2-0 and absolutely dominating that game as well. Falkirk scored just before half time and the arse fell at the team and it finished 2-2. So I think there's there's an argument that says a manager should trust the players and let them ride out, like work out the problem and get the experience of going through the tough time and defending it and still winning the game, because that's important. But there are other times where they need to say, right, actually, I can't leave it to chance. Like, we're going to concede here. I need to do something about it. But I reckon what the answer is a bit of a sit in the fence answer to give you there, John. But I reckon how else to describe it.
I know Chris will be
that
furious.
management, though, isn't it?
Aye, that's it. It's a judgment, isn't it? Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you think he got it right yesterday?
But we won 3-0, and aye. So I would
But
say.
did he wait too long, though? Is John's probably questioning.
So we could have if we'd made the changes sooner, we might have put the game to bed earlier. Would be the argument, but then maybe Falkirk do something different at that point. Maybe the third goal comes early enough for them to get one back, and then it's like, well, we're back to just a 2-goal deficit, and it's all ifs, buts, and maybes, isn't it? Like, you can't really tell. All we can say is that it worked. Like, we won 3-0, so I'd give Gray the credit for it rather than hypothesising what might have happened if he'd done something different. Jay starts. The only negative was the first 20 minutes or so second half. If we do that against Rangers, we're in trouble as they are picking up now. Mark said Mulligan has been an inspired signing for all the McCowan chasing, albeit different kind of player. Mulligan is better for us. Jason said should be there 100% driving midfielder. That's Mulligan for the World Cup. Dan says could see Mulligan and Bowie going. Right move, taking younger players. What about this one? Right, so Chris said the worry in our midfield is when it got tough, Barlaser went missing. So that was a criticism that was kind of getting talked about in the stand around me. That we've completely lost the midfield for that 20-25 minutes in the second half. I think Mulligan and Chaiwa were still fairly prominent, but Barlaser did sort of disappear for a wee bit. We've talked about him a bit in that way before, Colin. How big a concern is that?
Well, it is, but I do wonder if folk are looking for it as well, though. Like, it's, you know how perception slowly starts to build and it becomes reality and all that. I do wonder, but and then with the Motherwell manager coming out and sort of saying that was, they took him out of the game, and then folk have already noticed that against Celtic and Hearts, I think, were the two games specifically. I don't know. I don't know if there is a bit of a perception building there, or if it's actual factual.
I think I think the criticisms of Barlaser have been there almost since he came through the door. Like, and I don't know. Like, it's. I'm trying to think of what to say more than anything else. He's not a bad player, but so when you're like, I think one of the criticisms that's been made of him is that when Hibs dominate the ball, he looks good. And we were talking about Falkirk having like a 20-minute spell, for example. So is it natural then that he doesn't, not that he hides, but he just has the ball less because Hibs are under a bit more pressure because they just like everyone has the ball less.
Yeah.
But so why is it that Barlaser gets the
because he's not flying into tackles and that like the other two are. Another two are mere off the nature of being, they sound harsh, I suppose, headless chickens. They're running about everywhere. They're covering every bloody grass, just doing stuff. He's not. So, but none of them are really on the ball. The midfield was being overrun, but one midfielder's been picked out.
Yeah. So is it hiding, or is it waiting for the right opportunity? Not waiting for the right opportunity, waiting to do the right thing at the right time. So, like, rather than running about like a headless chicken, rather than wasting energy.
I don't know. Like,
I'm trying to think of what I suppose where I'm coming at from this is like to try and challenge people's perceptions and say, right, is Barlaser a poor player like you're suggesting, or is there other factors at play?
So the suggestion's not that he's a poor player because he played well first half. Like, I think it's just getting that balance. And what was the accusation there, or the point was that when it gets tough, you see less of Barlaser, which I think is fair. But also the point is we saw less of Bowie, we saw less of Boyle, we saw less of Chaiwa, we saw less of Mulligan when it got tough. Iredale and Gadden weren't getting on the ball as much when things were, and when they did, they weren't doing anything with it. Like, so it's something that impacts the whole team. But I get you. Like your point, Colin, is it's easy to pick one player out and say, well, it's just impacting them. But
yeah, I think it's a big one next week for him because it's one of the traditional big games, isn't it? And that's the ones that people are saying he's going missing. And so, and they're on a, like, I know everybody still says they're shite, but I think that, as you said earlier, that they've won since the managers came in. They've won 5 and drawn 2.
I think they've only got beat once this season.
Yeah,
Somebody
twice
said
in the league, I think.
twice in the league. So
But that's that. If you like, a lot of that was when the other boy was in. I can't remember his name.
Russell Martin.
I was going to say the model's husband. What's her name? I can't. Could have Lucy Pinder. Lucy
There you
Pinder's husband. I'll call him. But aye, I mean, it's the new boys come in. I don't know if that. I've not fact checked that. I read that somewhere that 7 games, 5 wins, 2 draws. Though that's what he's had. So, like, you think, fucking hell, they're not that shite anymore. Although they do look like they're struggling a bit, but they're winning.
Aye. Jason said Chiva's runs impressed me. I think we need a sitting midfielder and not a 10 between him and Mulligan. Chris, I'm not sure Clege's done enough. Kenny said that's Rocky and beat his last game off the Africa Cup of Nations before Rangers. Is Chiva off as well? That's 4 big games at least. Stan said, I thought Hibs pressing from the front 2 was very lazy, even though both scored. I wasn't impressed with either. J-Star said Clige will get more minutes in the summer as Boyle will be away then. Jason said McGrath showed he can play on the left, but no doubt will be moved back into the middle during AFCON. Chris said Foster was a disgrace. Kieran said never heard or seen the Instagram post, but Boyle's the captain. He should be a bit more professional when fans are asking loads of questions about Clige. I don't think it helps anything. And Kieran said thought the whole team go missing in spells. Boggles my mind people managed to pick one player out for a whole team going missing. And Jason said he has composure and moved the ball okay, but didn't stand out hugely. Chris said, should Gray have played Mitchell yesterday? Perfect chance to give him minutes considering we lose a lot to AFCON. John, there was a bit of chat about Charlton recalling Zach Mitchell. Was yesterday a chance to play? We saw Megwa come on. Could Mitchell have come on instead?
Came on for 2 minutes, so like Megwa.
Aye.
Did we have any subs remaining at that point? Like we could have maybe made a different one, but
well, he could have brought Megwa, not brought Megwa on, but then we'd be saying, then we would have folks saying, why are we bringing on a lone player just to placate their playing club when we've got a youth player sitting there on yourself?
I think we're always going to have this conversation about loan players when they come in, but they don't get any game time. You do wonder whether there was any point bringing them in, or whether there was another opportunity for someone who maybe could have made an impact. I don't know. Like I don't know how Gray would view that. So we mentioned some of the players there that we're going to lose to the Cup of Nations. I can't remember exactly how long Mitchell's loan spell is for. Is it for the season?
Aye, it's a season-long loan.
So I don't know. Like we might find them coming in. I don't know. It's just it's the enigma that is the loan sign. Like I've lost count of the number of players that Hibs have signed on loan that we've just never seen, or have seen like 2 or 3 minutes of.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to get a few comments on Twitter before we wrap up. So Brian Mitchell said Boyle was about to stick the ball in the net and was clearly tripped. BBC Sportscene go above and beyond to have a go at Hibs. Disgraceful statement by Foster. Spot said Foster's a joke. Nobody cares what he says. Maybe he's worried Boyle upsets Rangers next week. Jimmy said I expect a harder game for Falkirk. Fair play to the coaching staff for getting the tactics right and getting right into Falkirk from the first whistle. Also, what a difference not playing out from the back. Now, can we do the same versus Rangers? Colin, it was a bit noticeable that we didn't really play out for the back very often. Salinger went long a couple of times rather than doing that sort of slower build-up. Is this something that you would like to see more of from Hibs?
I don't mind that. But it depends. It probably depends on the opposition, though, because it depends on like what their press is set up to be and all that. I guess, because if they're maybe it was like Falkirk away, I've no idea. Right, it's Brian Graham up front. The boy's fucking my age, but like, can he? Is he a? Have they got a high press and we've got to struggle? So we'll just kick it over them because that's the obvious answer to me as somebody that's not a fucking football expert, just watches it. Just didn't let them press you. Just knock over the top of them, and that seemed to work. So, if Rangers are going to be running about putting their defenders and goalie under pressure, get it past them.
John, how about you? Do you have any view on that?
About being direct and going long?
Yeah.
Nah, not when the situation allows for it. I wouldn't like it to be our only method of attack, because I think it's just a bit predictable. It's a bit one-dimensional, and the opposition pick it off quite easily.
And it's not like fucking big diagonals up to the big man in the box. It's not like Sam Allardyce stuff, is it?
Nah.
You know what I mean? They're getting out wide, trying to get crosses in, or it's not just like just pinging 60-yarders all the time. So there is a bit of a mix, but it's just no fucking about it at the back, like what we've been talking about.
Tom Wallace said, why didn't Falkirk wear their away strips? Even dark shorts would have made a difference. I wasn't the only one who had difficulty telling which team was which. Apart from that, Hibs were by far the better team on the day. DJSG said, always got to be thinking ahead. Falkirk are hopeless away from home and were dispatched by Hibs accordingly. No place for sentimentality in this league. And he's keeping better players on the bench. Love the man. Just being realistic. That's talking about Boyle. Asking also, when was the last time we saw him go past somebody? Michael said the bias from the media against Martin Boyle, but also Hibs is unbelievable. Guy on Sportscene doesn't think it was a penalty. BBC Scotland says Lesser seems to catch him. GH was sent off with zero contact, no complaints. That's Grant Hanlon was sent off with zero contact, no complaints from them. Boyle is tripped and they think it's dubious. James said Mulligan locomotive powerhouse performance. Take a deserved Bowie for your first goal. 2 beautiful soft touches, moves the ball to where you wanted it, no backlift, and placed it where you wanted it to go. If you had a Celtic or Rangers strip on, they would be creaming themselves. And last one, Dex Sands says kick clash is a fucking joke. Highlights of the ineptitude of the SPFL. Great first half. Falkirk always going to be better second half. Hibs fans need to realise this and get behind the team rather than instantly starting berating them. There you go. Right. So what have we got coming up this week? Right, we've got extra time tomorrow for subscribers. As always, if you don't subscribe, you can click the join button on our YouTube and you'll get the subscriber content there, or head to our Patreon where you can also sign up for either ad-free if you want the free stuff but without adverts, or if you want the top tier, the long banger tier, you get the exclusive content as well. So we'll be back with extra time tomorrow. We'll have the phone in this week. I don't know what day it'll be, though, because the development team are playing in Europe on Wednesday night, Easter Road, £5 entry. We're playing Dynamo Kiev, and I'm planning on going to that. So I don't know. I work my out on Thursday, so I reckon when we're going to fit in the phone in, considering trying to find a way to do the phone in live for Easter Road. That's an option at the moment. So watch this space. If it's logistically possible, we might do that. And then we'll have the preview show on Friday, looking ahead to the Rangers game next Monday. Right, that'll do us then. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and we will see you all next time.